Hey, it's Mark Lanier with your video thought for the day. All right, we're well into week 2 of aphorisms, Christian cliches, asking, are they true or are they just trite? And today I've got an interesting one. Today's kind of reminds me of McCann's instant oatmeal, which, by the way, is the best instant oatmeal you can possibly have. This little puppy and 5 minutes, and you have a breakfast of champions. But enough of the oatmeal. What do I mean it's like instant oatmeal? You just add water to that, stick it in the microwave, and poof, you've got something tasty. Little cliches that can roll off the tongue and can just automatically be applied are sometimes a danger spot. And that's the one I want to look at today. You can probably tell from the title what it is. Love the sinner, hate the sin. Now, and in some ways, this is, I think, a biblical saying. But in some ways, this saying is a little too convenient as an excuse to judge other people and to judge certain sins. And so I want to dissect it a little bit and talk it around, and let's discuss what it means and where we can find biblicalism in it and where we need to be careful and not treat it like our McCann's instant oatmeal. There is no question in my mind but that God loves every human being. You know, Peter says God is not willing that any should perish. God created humanity with love in his heart. That's an anthropomorphism, applying it to God. I'm not saying he's got a beating heart. But God created humanity in a loving compassion of service and giving. So God loves you and God loves me. But I also have no compunction understanding that God does not love sin. God abhors sin. God hates sin. And he hates sin because sin is destructive. And he cares about that because he does love the sinner. See, if I love you, I only want what's good for you. If I love you and there's something that's tearing you up and destroying you, then I will hate that and come against it. That's what genuine love is. That's why Paul wrote to the Romans and said, let your love be genuine, hate what is evil. Maybe the most famous passage on love in the Bible is found in 1 Corinthians chapter 13. That's that famous chapter on love that Paul wrote about. And in it, Paul says in verse 6 that love does not rejoice in wrongdoing, but rejoices with the truth. Now, the problem is we live in a society where all too often this love the sinner, hate the sin is used as an excuse. More and more it's being used in reference to homosexuality. I'm seeing it used in reference to any number of different sins, but it always seems to be ones that we're seeing in other people. And that's where it becomes just a little too convenient to use, because we're not really to be in the judging business, and yet to some degree we are required to not rejoice with unrighteousness. But you've got to find a line somewhere in there that's got to be navigated. And that navigation of the line usually isn't found in a quick quoted cliche. So I'm concerned that this phrase gets overused and gets used as a convenient excuse to judge other people. I think this phrase has its best use with me. I'll look at my life and I'll recognize God loves me, a sinner, but he hates the sin that's in my life. And that's true whether it's just the sin of gossip or envy or hatred or anger, or any number of those sins that on our scale sometimes don't measure up as high as the Big Ten. So I want you to think about it when you're eating your oatmeal. Let's be a little more careful in what we say and in what we do. Let's don't find excuses to sit in judgment on others, but let's don't rejoice with sin. And let's seek out the sinners with love and compassion. And that, my friends, is your video thought for today.